Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today we're going to talk about VeChain, and they had an 8-hour AMA with 67,000 people watching, had 534 questions, but we're going to go over the top couple. This is the top 10, but I'm not going to go over all of the 10. I will link this article in the description if you are interested in it. I'm going to talk a bit about the ecosystem, which I've talked about before, but this is an official answer from VeChain, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the North American expansion. So we're going to talk about the AMA. This happened on June 30th, and if you didn't watch the whole 8-hour thing, much of it was in Chinese, so it was kind of hard to catch. So the first one is the economic model. What is the relationship between VET, VETHO, and actual use cases? I've actually covered this before, but if you want an answer from VeChain Official, this is it. In real-life use cases, companies choose to use the VeChain Tor blockchain to facilitate transactions that the company cannot perform without using the VeChain Tor blockchain, thus creating valuable transactions. And these transactions on the mainnet would all consume VeTho as according to the economic model. As the number of companies using the blockchain continues to increase and the business scale continues to expand, clearly this means that VeChain Tor blockchain and its surrounding services are assisting said companies and clients in creating more economic value, causing the demand for VeTho to inevitably grow each day, which will thus be reflected by the price of VeTho. And since VeTho is generated by VET, the price growth of VeTho will be reflected by the price of VET. What I've thought in the future is that VeTho price can't actually be all that much because that's the basic unit of transfer on the VTOR blockchain, and if they make that worth more, then it costs too much to transfer stuff on the blockchain. So what I'm assuming they'll do is they'll adjust the generation rate of VeTho. As for VET, if you increase the generation rate of VeTho and keep the price fairly consistent, then the price of VET will grow because the demand for VET will grow since the demand for VeTho will grow to carry out transactions on the blockchain. The price growth of VeTho will be reflected by the price of VET. In White Paper 1.0, it is stated that the price of VeTho shall be stable, which was not clear enough and caused some misunderstandings in the community. So, I mean, like I said, the price will be pretty stable, but the rate of generation will actually increase, and because of that, each VET will actually generate more VeTho, which would give you a higher ROI in the long run. What they really meant by the price of VeTho being stable is what we really meant is that we need to keep the cost of using blockchain relatively stable. The transaction cost in fiat should fall within a range which is acceptable by both the foundation and commercial entities creating and using the blockchain for transactions. Despite concerns by some quarters of the community regarding the hike in price of VeTho causing transactions to be relatively more expensive, the VeChain Foundation will always closely monitor and take various measures to ensure that the cost of using the blockchain be kept affordable for all stakeholders, including community developers and non-enterprise users. Where do enterprises get the VeTho that they are consuming? This is an important part. The enterprises need to pay when they adopt blockchain-based solutions such as Toolchain. The cost and money invested by enterprises to use Toolchain will directly be used to purchase VeTho and VET on the open market. So when companies invest in stuff like Toolchain, the money will be used by them to purchase VeTho, the gas, and VET for the smart contracts in the open market. The cost of using the blockchain is directly related to the transaction volume on the VeChain Tor mainnet, which we've actually looked at multiple times. So this is the mainnet right here. As you can see, on weekdays, as expected, the volume suddenly spikes and has been doing so for quite a couple of weeks now. So there's coming to be a lot of usage, and eventually there will be a squeeze on the supply as soon as we get more things on the blockchain. So, and then the Walmart China partnership, which everyone is going to be interested in. Will you expand your corporation and solutions to other supermarkets after success with Walmart China? And is it possible that you will duplicate this model to other industries and companies? We are grateful to PricewaterhouseCoopers for the successful collaboration and cooperation with Walmart China, as well as to DNVGL for Italian Wine Association collaboration. So they're in Italy too with Italian Wine Association. I've covered that in another story. In fact, they have been helping us all along to explore the market together as VeChain strategic partners, and for that, in return, provide them with technical support, tools, services, so they can easily develop new VeChain Tor-powered applications for development enterprises across multiple industry use cases. The successful cooperation between VeChain and Walmart China, first and foremost, indicates that traditional companies are willing to use public blockchains, which was really good for the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. Secondly, blockchains in the future will most likely be a mixture of public and private blockchain, depending on the use case. Thirdly, by partnering with PwC to empower Walmart China's food safety traceability program, we have not only provided this solution to Walmart China consumers, but also established contact with Walmart China suppliers. So they have not only the Walmart China, but also their suppliers. In the future, we may gradually convince these companies to apply blockchains, thus putting into reality we have been talking about, applying blockchain technology across the board. So this could actually expand to many companies outside of Walmart China. And this could affect the entire Chinese logistics industry, which is a huge industry. Even if you just like preclude all the other industries in the world outside of it and it just works with logistics China, that is probably $1 trillion industry, and that's enough to push VeChain up in the future. Xnode. Why are Xnodes more tradable? We're not going to go over that, but you can actually read that in the article if you want. There's upgrades about VeChain Tor wallet and cross-chain technology, which you can also read about that. Roadmap of VeChain. We have many plans for the future. Our overall plan for the future is that we will continue to develop valuable applications, carbon emissions, which they're working with the UN on, or more broadly use cases related to sustainable development. These projects will enable different people in different time zones and countries to set aside their differences for a common goal, which is in line with the ultimate goal of blockchain development and adoption. This is why we're willing to put more efforts to explore such projects. White paper stuff. So this is the one that I'm actually most interested in right now after the Walmart thing. With regards to USA expansion, regulation, and exchanges. So I don't think they provided a clear answer here. I was hoping for more, but they did provide some of what they're going to do. VeChain Foundation is still a relatively young organization, and it is true we have been spending more of our attention and more resources in Asia and Europe, which we are proud of our achievements so far in these regions. We do have a smaller presence in the USA or North America in general, and we are trying to improve our position in the market and industry. I actually haven't seen too many partnerships in the US or any partnerships in the US regarding VeChain. We have now hired Jason Rockwood to spearhead our business development efforts, and we do have plans in place to pivot more resources into North America, both on the business development front and also partnerships within the blockchain and cryptocurrency industries. VeChain acknowledges that the regulations in the United States are indeed stricter than most other jurisdictions, and we will move forward under guidance of our legal counsel in the USA, Scott Brisbane, and our steering committee member, Daniel Kellman, both of whom are extremely experienced veterans in their respected areas of expertise. To us, being sustainable long-term is the #1 priority, and that means first and foremost to focus and be compliant to the current and future set of regulations. Rest assured that VeChain believes it and is very committed to the USA market. I personally don't really care if they're committed to the USA market or not in terms of like enterprise applications. I just really care that they get an exchange in the US to be compliant and have VeChain listed so I can have liquidity to buy and sell my VeChain. That is the thing that me and most investors are interested in. I have tweeted Jason Rockwood and he has not answered me yet. What I guess this means is that I don't think Coinbase is going to list VeChain anytime soon. I hope I'm wrong, and it does, but I don't think they will. And the price is going to therefore struggle a bit because of that, because there are a lot of investors within the United States that have a ton of money that can actually invest in projects like VeChain. And without access to that money, the price growth is going to be much slower than otherwise. I know they're getting on Bexy, but I'm not really sure if Bexy is going to be available to U.S. customers in the future, because they have had a notice on their website. So that's the main thing I'm concerned with. I'm still waiting for updates from Jason Rockwood and their steering council. The main problem is that VeChain generates VETHO, and that could be seen as a dividend. And also their buyback recently doesn't really help, but it seems like EU and Asia are definitely more friendly with their regulations, and that's why they're developing in that market first. But if their steering committee and their legal counsel can get it to where VeChain is not a security in the United States, then that would really open up the floodgates to further price growth. So that is something you have to be aware of. As long as this USA block is here, I don't know how much explosive growth we can actually expect in the price. Hopefully they can get it resolved in the next few months. But we know these legal things take a long time, so it could be a year or two before they actually get it resolved. Please keep that in mind while investing in VeChain. That's why there is risk in VeChain, and I think that is the main risk. The USA compliance is the main risk to VeChain holders or VeChain investors. So the rest of the stuff talks about foundation and company. And then how is the USD 500 million Thor Power Fund going? That's in smooth progress. So that rounds out the questions. I basically covered 2 or 3 of the main ones that people are interested in: the economic model and the USA expansion. If you have any questions, first read the article. I will link that in the description, and then you can discuss it in the comments below. And I'll try to answer anything, but hopefully maybe even a VeChain official will come around and answer it as well. So that's the news for today. Check out the stuff in my description, my Patreon, and my social media. Thank you, and have a nice day.